Hey there, this is Jen and welcome to the weekly vlog. This is a topic that I want to talk about today is how we should on ourselves. Do you have this problem? I definitely do. It's something that I'm working on clearing myself and healing myself. And every time I speak to mums, there's this element of I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I should be parenting better. And so I just wanted to talk about this today. Let's see where this takes us. So for me, all of this shoulding, it stems from childhood experiences. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And what I want to talk about today is how if you're believing that you should be doing better as a parent, I want to remind you that you can only give what you have to give. Now, what do I mean by that? You can only give as much emotional presence as you have to give. You can only give as much love as you have to give today. You can't fake it, as one of my clients was saying to me yesterday. There's all these fancy emotional presence words going around, where we think we can say to children, I'm right here with you. Oh yes, you look like you're feeling really sad about this. Well, hey ho, the thing is if we're not really in a place ourselves of feeling emotionally present, those words don't really resonate, especially with sensitive children who really feel your sentiment underneath and can feel your real feelings. So, we only can give what we have to give. Now, I'm sitting here on my sofa today doing an emotional healing session for myself. And this is what spurred this week's vlog on for me, because I realised that one of the reasons that I did not have children in my 20s and didn't have children in my early 30s was because I was not at all in a place to give love to somebody else. I was still at the effect of experiences from childhood. And let me tell you, I had a great childhood, and this is the point. The effects, when I talk about the effects of childhood experiences, I simply mean the fact that I had lots of experiences of not feeling listened to and not feeling understood. And that in itself was enough to have a huge detrimental effect on how I felt about myself and how I also felt in the world as well. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel a sense of belonging or connectedness. So in my 20s and 30s, I was not in a position to have children. I did not want to have a child because I knew that I did not have anything to give anybody else. And I could not even fake giving any love to anybody else because I was sitting in moments of depression, of anxiety, of panic attacks, of chronic exhaustion. So it was very, very clear to me that I had nothing to give to anybody else. I was doing my best to even just get through the day, just looking after me. But what spurred this conversation on for me today, and why I'm shooting this video, is that in fact, since I was 29, I had this belief that I should be having children. And obviously that comes from expectations that you feel in the world and what you think you should be doing. But through a healing session, I was able to get to the realisation that I did not want to have children in my 20s and I did not want to have children in my 30s, early 30s, because I was not in a position to give any emotional presence to anybody else because I was suffering myself and I was trying to just get through the day. I was trying to just get on by, and a lot of the time I did feel exhausted and I did feel anxious, and so of course I was not in a place to give anything to another child. So it's been amazing for myself because I've been able to get to a place where I've come to realisation everything in my life has worked out perfectly as it has meant to work. I was not meant to have children in my 20s. I was not in a position to have them in my early 30s. because I had no emotional presence or ability to even think about anybody else, because I was so in my own emotional wounds, so stuck in anxiety, so stuck in my own thoughts that were colouring how I saw life and how I felt every day. So I just want to share this with you, my experience, personal experience with you, because if you're ever doubting yourself as a parent and shoulding yourself and thinking, I should be doing better, I want to point out the fact that it's really likely that if you're feeling any feelings like I've had and do have at times as well, of anxiety, of feeling like you're not good enough, of feeling like you don't belong here on this planet, which obviously is not true at all, is not the universal truth. But if you do have those feelings on a regular basis, I just want to remind you that you're doing your best in your parenting, because you can only give to your child what you actually have to give. You can't fake emotional presence. You can't fake love. Love is an action, a verb. And it's like we can only give what we have to give. If you're working through some, emotional wounds yourself right now from childhood, if you're working through some trauma that's happened to you, if you're working through something challenging right now, your emotional bucket is likely running on empty. Like, here's the bucket, here's the probably level of water you have right now. Be easy on yourself. As I say, this is why in the past I had never considered having children myself, because I think it's also because I'd been looking after children since I was 18. My whole career has been spent around children. I love children, but I knew what it took to look after them. I've cared for babies and toddlers, young children, from 7 till 5 in a daycare setting. And I knew from the age of 18, 19, exactly how much hard work it was. And so I knew that I did not have that in me to be able to give to that child or to a child myself as a parent when I was in my 20s and early 30s, because I was just suffering myself still. I was trying my best to heal from feelings I'd had since I was a kid. I was trying my best to just get through the day. So I've had that amazing realisation, the realisation that I could not give anything in the past to anybody, child or adult. I couldn't care for anybody else because I had nothing to give. I was trying to just care for myself the best that I could. And maybe you're in that position. Maybe you have a child right now, and that's wonderful. You made that decision to have that beautiful child. And maybe there's days where you find it really hard and you just feel like you have nothing to give. I hope that this vlog can help you feel comforted to know that that's normal, that's okay, and it completely makes sense. It's likely that if you're struggling on a regular basis with big feelings yourself, underneath there's still a little child within you who is still learning to process those feelings. And then you have a little child physically in front of you, which is your son or daughter, who's also asking for their needs to be met. And so whenever you have that little voice in your mind, that sneaky, sly little voice that says you should be doing better, please be easy on yourself. Please realise that you can only give what you have to give, and telling yourself you should be doing better is just never going to make you feel any better. And it serves no purpose for us to beat ourselves up around the head saying that we should be doing things. So I'm going to end this ramble now. I just wanted to share my personal experience that I've had through healing, some of the shoulds that I've had for a long time, since I was 29, the old saying that women have, the clock's ticking, you should be having children soon. Well, no, I was never in a position earlier in my life to have a child because I was struggling so much with my own emotions that I just physically and emotionally and mentally knew 100%. I never felt like I was in a position to be able to give love to a child, because I knew how much hard work it was. And I also didn't want, on reflection now, I know that I didn't want to also just have a child to make me feel better. And that's so easy to do as well. Have a child because we think it's something as women that we should be doing. And then it turns out we realise these little children need emotion, they have emotional needs and they need things from us. And that's when we start to get emptied out and emotionally drained out. And so we have needs ourselves. If you're struggling at times, as I say, and think that you should be doing better, just tap that voice on its head and tell it to go away. Give it a name. Call it Charlie, call it Bertie, call it Mary. Say, thank you, Mary, but I'm just not going to be listening to that today. And recognise that actually you are doing your best and we can only give what we have to give. I'll see you on next week's vlog. Have a great day.